It's time again, dear friends, for the Extraordinary Times. Well, we're back, and, according to a little link up there, I talked about Rand Paul jumping over to Mitt Romney's side this past week, and, well, Ron Paul hardcore supporters, which is basically all the people that support Ron Paul, have been kind of flipping their lids about it because, you know, he is his son, and now he's a Judas and should burn in hell and such things. So, you know, it's not surprising to me. I think I said that before, both that Rand Paul is supporting Mitt Romney and the fact that Ron Paul bots are actually vicious and angry animals when it comes to, you know, somebody turning their back on them. And another story that we talked about before, maybe not right there, but a little bit further that way, like the directions mean anything. Moving on! Florida was being harassed by the Justice Department to stop removing non-citizen voters from the voting rolls. And now Florida is suing the Department of Homeland Security for not giving them the database information that they need to continue to delete non-citizen peoples from their voting records. So, yeah, go Florida. Most of the time you're producing crazy people and face eaters, but now I'm starting to be a little proud. And on to the first story that I heard this morning when I woke up to talk radio. A man here in the great state of Texas went inside his home to go and get his 4-year-old daughter because they were having a little family get-together, and when he went inside, he found a man. They haven't released the names of all these people. They found a man who apparently is a family acquaintance, a horse breeder kind of guy. He and the father were, they knew each other. And when the father came in the house, he discovered this man was sexually assaulting his 4-year-old daughter. And like a father of a 3.5-year-old daughter thinks he should do, he beat the man over and over again. Apparently, when the police got there, he was dead. I'm not saying he should have killed him, but I'm not going to shed any tears that child molester is no longer breathing. Jumping across the states up to Boston, where a Harvard-affiliated hospital by the name of McLean Hospital had they have a brain bank because they're associated with Harvard, and Harvard does a lot of brain study stuff. They lost power on a refrigerator that was holding brains. Now, that might sound a little disgusting to you, and believe me, it would be, because when they got there, all these brains had they'd expired their usefulness as research materials. And the hard part about this is that a lot of the brains that they had for autism study were being held there. And so autism research, which I am a big believer in, is being set back by years because they've lost this research material. And that's kind of upsetting for such smart people to have lost track of time and these things. And I'm going to move on because this bothers me. And on to a story that does not bother me nearly as much. Those of you who know the name Hosni Mubarak may understand that the former leader of Egypt is not the nicest person in the world and was sentenced to life in prison earlier this month. Well, he apparently, at 84 years old, is not doing so well in prison like one would think. His health is apparently declining rapidly now that he is in jail with a bunch of people that he probably put there once upon a time. So, honestly, doesn't bother me at all, but I thought you might want to know that, you know, a dictator is getting his just desserts. And you might say, Jeremy, who are you to determine blah, 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 blah? Shut up. He killed a lot of people, and, well, he was tried and convicted and sentenced to life in prison. So there you go. Also, something super interesting to me that y'all should also be aware of, they have found very recently these two really enormously complex cyber weapons by the name of Stuxnet and Flame. And by each of my hands right now, there's going to be a link to videos explaining Stuxnet and Flame. And these videos, well, the Flame one's kind of, well, I'll say boring to those who don't know computer stuff. The Stuxnet one is a little more exciting, a little more, everybody would understand it. These two things, Stuxnet is a sabotage, basically a weapon of great threat, and the Flame virus is a espionage weapon where you can take any sort of information from a computer and rip it off. And apparently, though they've been discovered all over the place, they haven't been working on things all over the place. They've only been working on things in Iran and sabotaging things in Iran so that Iran cannot enrich nuclear materials like we've been telling them not to. And apparently nobody really actually knows who created these because they're so broad and you know their capabilities are so in depth. But you know, apparently Russia has broken it down. One of the companies in Russia has broken it down and found common you know, code threads and things that link them together, and they were probably developed by the same person and probably, very probably, conducted by the United States or Israel or somebody else who really doesn't want Iran with nuclear weapons. Hopefully you don't want Iran with nuclear weapons, or you should be in Iran. And lastly, but not leastly, because this lady should have found somewhere other than the United States to be too, a woman in Salem, Oregon was arrested just the other day when she... I can't say this without cracking up a little bit. She filed a fake tax return and was returned $2.1 million on her phony tax return, and was given a Visa charge card with the $2.1 million on it to do with as she wanted. Apparently, it passed the Oregon Internal Revenue Service review, and she got the money. First off, they gave her $2.1 million back. That didn't shock anyone at all. Like, her previous returns didn't show that she shouldn't have had $3 million, you know, claimed on her taxes and whatever. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised it took them this long. I mean, I got my return in like 2 weeks, and I spent it all really fast. She apparently only spent $150,000 of it in the course of a couple of months. So, you know, she didn't do the smart thing and withdraw it all and go somewhere else and live the rest of her life. But, you know, that's just what smart people would have done. Anyways, I am Jeremy. These are extraordinary times. Like us over here, favorite us over here, subscribe to us up there, and share us with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. Be aware. And my camera's broken.